Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from here at FilmGear headquarters in California. We are doing episode 2 of our live stream podcast. Today we will be demoing our LED panels with Mozzie and Chris. All right, guys, take it away.
So right here we have the Aurora RGB 400. It is one of two models in the Aurora series. We have the 400 and the 200. The 200 right here is the 1x1 and the 400 is the 2x1. And as you can see here, between the two models, the menu is the same, and it's going to be the same for all of our RGB products. So once you know one menu, you're going to know how to go through all of the menus. And so the Aurora series, it has RGB functionality. It's RGBW CW. It has CCT mode, which is your bicolor mode with green and magenta tint balance. And then it also has gel mode, which is, it has gel similar to Lee and Roscoe, and then scene mode. And in the scene mode, the preset modes are strobe, lightning, party, club, fire, candle, TV, fireworks, police car, and then you're able to import your own settings so you can have whatever type of scene that you want. So starting off in CCT mode, bicolor mode, you have the functionality to go between 6,000 Kelvin all the way to 2,700 Kelvin just with the click of a button, and you just scroll that up and you have a bunch of different you can go from 0 to 100, and then for precise dimming you have decimals in between, and then with the presets you can quickly go to one of the pre-selected color temperatures, and then right here in the middle you are able to control your magenta and green balance so that you can have consistent color temperature between different LED products, or if you need to correct something within camera, you can balance it to what your camera is saying. And then if you scroll on the bicolor side, you can go all the way up to 10,000 Kelvin. And then on the opposite end, you can go as low as 2,500 Kelvin. Moving on to HSI mode. Once again, 0 to 100 dimming. And you can control the hue, or the saturation, from 0 all the way to 100. So you can have very low saturation or very high saturation very easily. And then you have essentially every color in the rainbow that you can easily just scroll through. And certain hues are just listed with a number, so if you need to get back to it quickly and you know the number, you can just quickly go back to it. And moving on to gel mode, similar to Lee and Roscoe, we have our own names in here. But if you have the Lee or Roscoe number, you can quickly go to it. It's in the top right corner. And then all of these gels are able to shift between tungsten and daylight very easily. And then you can also dim them up to whatever percentage you need. And on scene mode, we have strobe. And you can choose the speed and intensity. So you can have it flash on very slowly in intervals, or you can have it go fast. And then onto lightning, it's just with the click of a button, you can have a lightning pulse. And lastly, we have police car, a very popular setting. In here, you can control the amount of flashing there is, so like quad cars, double, or just a single. And the colors you can alternate between blue and red, blue and white, just one color, so similar to like European police cars. You can also throw in blue on that one, and then also you have control over your dimming. And then finally, you have the option to import your own. It's pretty easy. On the back, you have a USB port where you can plug in your USB and upload your own scenes.
Well, I have just a couple of technical aspects. The 2x1 weighs 29 pounds. The 1x1 weighs 20 pounds. They both have steel yokes. They both have, the 2x1 carries two dual heat sinks on the back to keep it cool, and two very quiet fans. The 1x1 has a single fan and one panel of heat sinks. And that's pretty it as far as technically. You can also push your mirrors on them, and then you also have you can interchange your grids. If you have egg crates, or if you want, you can switch your soft grid to a hard grid by just flipping the diffuser over to whichever side is more comfortable for what your shooting parameters are going to be. Okay, now we're going to start to discuss some practical uses of the Aurora 1x1 and the Aurora 2x2. There's multiple applications. One application which we use a lot with these type of panels is lighting green screens or just any type of site. One of the great uses of using an RGB system to light the sites is if you have a white site and you want to paint the site multiple colors, different colors, you can take the light panels, set them up across the site, and then you can change the colors with the units themselves versus every time taking and painting the site. That's one practical use that we use these type of panels for a lot. Another way is as top lights, which we would take one of these panels and we could put it into a space light bag and then use it as a top ambient for ambient color or ambient washes, and to use it as a practical key light or a fill light on a talent or subject, we would put it. I would normally put a soft box on it, and we have our Aurora 400 outfitted with a Shimura type box, a FilmGear box, a egg crate, and then it also has multiple diffusions. The unit comes with a quarter grid diffusion, half grid diffusion, and a full grid diffusion. And then here we're displaying it with a 40-degree soft control grid, which is Velcroed on the inside for easy practical purposes. In this configuration here, I would use it as a key light or even a fill light for talent.
So FilmGear does have its own proprietary wireless system. With the system, we have the transmitter and the receiver. The transmitter would plug right into the light, and then the receiver can go into any DMX board, or instead it can pair directly to our DMX remote that we have. It's up to 10 channels, and there's multiple configurations on here that display with an LED light, different colors, and so you can have up to 9 different channels reading from the lights that you compare to different remotes or DMX boards, depending on what light pairing you have.
And it's ran off of an 8-bit system.